Are you searching for a way to overcome anxiety and depression? At Achieve Emotional Mastery, we know you want to be an overcomer. And we know that you're probably a bit frustrated with wrestling with worry, overthinking, negative thoughts, and really not getting the answers that you need for a real breakthrough. I am Stacey Rivera, and in this video, I want to share with you how Dave, who's one of our recent graduates, was able to overcome anxiety and depression, and how this type of breakthrough is possible for you too. He has an amazing testimony, and I believe you will resonate with so much of what he experienced before he fought for his breakthrough. See, the thing is that most people stay stuck because they rely on traditional treatment methods that simply manage the problem. And that's exactly what happened to Dave. He was stuck in a cycle of anxiety and depression until he came to work with us. Once he implemented our proven strategy, everything began to change. And after Dave shares with you his thoughts on his powerful transformation, I will share with you how you can get started today so that you can finally be an overcomer. Thank you, Dave, for being here just to share with us. I look forward to this conversation.
You're
And so
welcome.
where I want to start with is, what were you dealing with? Like, before we started working together, what was your biggest concern around anxiety and depression?
Oh, well, everything was a concern, I guess. But yeah, I was just fighting some really bad anxiety
Mhm.
daily, every day. Not being able to work very much.
Yeah.
Just everything that goes along with anxiety, just making the day tough, um,
Mm.
hard to sleep.
Hard to sleep, hard to concentrate, hard to,
Very hard to concentrate. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Lots of brain fog. My wife would say was a little snippy.
Okay.
Still working on that one a little bit, but
Okay.
yeah. But as you
Okay.
get anxiety, and at least with me, I get a little edgy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that
Sure.
was
It's frustrating, and it does come out. It can come out as edginess.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the job just a little bit, because it's not like you weren't working. You own your own business, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And so you were still owning your business. Your business was working for you. But what was really, like, how was the anxiety affecting your business?
I was finding out that a lot of the little things completely overwhelmed me.
Hmm.
Day-to-day
Okay.
things that shouldn't overwhelm me, that didn't overwhelm me um, years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So you noticed, like, it was progressing. Now everything, all the little things. And man,
Yeah,
with business, but business, there's a lot of little things, right?
that's what
There's
it
just a
is.
lot. It is.
Putting out
It is.
fires. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. How else was this affecting you? Like, how was it affecting parenting, or your relationship with your wife?
Relationship with my wife was a little rocky. Um, Definitely, probably because of the edginess and no patience.
Hmm.
Um, Relationship with the kids, probably more with me than with them.
Okay.
Kids are pretty forgiving, but I knew that I wasn't up to my potential, doing
Yeah.
the father things that I should be doing things with them, and
Hmm. Okay.
that was hard.
Okay. Yeah, that would be my next question. So I know how important it is to you to be a good father, to be present with them. How did that touch your heart when you just weren't being the father that you wanted to be?
Oh, it kills you. It hurts
Yeah.
because I don't know. I mean, um, what else is there in life? I mean, that's
Hmm.
kind of your
Okay.
legacy, to me,
Yeah, they are.
that you're,
Absolutely.
that you're going to leave behind, and I just love them, all of them,
Hmm.
and
Thank
I don't know
you.
what
Thank
else
you
to
for,
say.
no, I appreciate you sharing that, because I know it's a hard thing. And Dave, you're an image of my strong guy. I mean, really, this beautiful bald head, which you love, but it's like you're the antithesis of strong man. And so I really appreciate your vulnerability and just sharing, because I feel like there's many men out there that are dealing with this, that are functioning well, like you were, like, hey, you're getting it done, but yet it's impacting those that you love the most, and it breaks your heart.
Yep.
And so you didn't just allow that to continue. You said, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to get the help that I need to be able to change this. And so again, I just want to thank you for your vulnerability, and there's not much to say. It just breaks your heart. It's not what
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so how have things changed for you? Like, where are you at now?
I'm doing much better now, and not to say I don't have a bad day now and then,
Right.
but I'm doing better. And I'm having some great days, which is great.
Yes.
Um,
I like that. You're having some great days. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just, well, my grandson's coming over tonight. He's going to stay for a while. And
Yay.
yep. And
I want to highlight that, because I was thinking that a moment ago when you said that with about your children. I was thinking about the moments I've seen you with your grandson,
mhm,
and like now just the joy. Like I can tell how life-giving that is to you,
yes.
but mostly because of a different place. You're in a different place now, and so like this is so exciting, hanging out with your grandson.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's awesome. That's
He's coming.
awesome.
Yeah, he's going to come over tonight, stay for a few hours, and then back. They're going to go snowboarding tomorrow, so he'll be back at like 6:30 and be here all day.
Super early. Oh, but that's
He's
fun.
14 months old, so he'll be a ball of fire all day long. So yeah.
Like on fire, chasing him around. Huh?
But,
Good.
but
Good.
before, I think I'd have been in a wad of nerves, and I'm not now. And even though it's somebody you love, it's somebody obviously that is huge to my life,
Yeah.
it gets the nerves going. Huh? How's this going to work? This blah 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 blah. Your brain starts going, but I can calm that now. Much better.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's
Yes.
good. That's good. Okay. Thank you for that. So let's also highlight. I want to highlight some of the things that you're able to do now that you weren't able to do before. And so I recall very distinctly our first conversation, and you sharing with me that in your business you had stopped flying. And so you're a pilot, right? You know how to fly. It's not just like you're a pilot, you love to fly, right? That's what I was understanding. Is that true?
Yep. Yeah. I started flying in 1988. So started flight instructing 2 years after that.
Wow.
Did some charter work, aerial photography, and kind of lit on crop dusting. And
Okay.
that's I started doing that in
photography. Oh, that sounds
93.
like so much fun. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been
Great.
flying a long time.
A
Yeah.
long time, and have enjoyed it. And then what happened when the anxiety really took over?
It kind of ruined it. There's a lot going on in that airplane at 10, 12 feet off the ground and 160 miles an hour. And I just kind of got overwhelmed.
And if I understand right, you hired somebody else to fly for you because it was just like, hey.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I hired him 4 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so again, this is something you loved. The anxiety slowly took that from you.
Yeah. Yep.
You hired somebody else, which changed the trajectory, right? Of going, hey, this is a business you could have owned forever, but now there's like a different backup plan here. And so after we worked together, what happened? And I'm going to share the picture. I'm sharing the picture. Okay. I hope you know.
All right.
All right. So then what happened?
I started flying a little bit, and my pilot, I believe, got sick that week.
Okay.
And I just jumped back in the airplane and went back to work a few times there after we got started. And I had a meeting one day, and I got on the phone and dialed you guys up and said, "Hey,
that's right.
I'm flying."
I'm like, keep your eyes on the sky. What are you doing? That was
I remember you saying, "Now you're showing off."
Yeah, that's right. That was such an exciting moment for me, because I was like, because again, like what we do, it's a short time. We work together. It really is a short time in the scheme of things. And when you know what to do, how quickly you can change things. And
Yep.
so I was so
Yep.
excited for you to be like, got this. I can fly. I know how to fly. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And I love
And it
that that
just,
passion is available to you again.
yeah, yeah. It was a passion, yes.
Okay.
Not being overwhelmed was great.
Yeah.
Even my ground guys said, hey, this is like old times, we're kind of back.
Oh,
So it's pretty cool.
good.
Yeah,
That is very
yeah,
cool. Oh, I love that. It's good when others notice.
yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's like, oh, thank you for that. Like, thank you for that. Nice, nice. Tell me a little bit about one of the things that you were using before that were helping you um, manage, which was the intense cycling. I want to call it intense because, man, you don't just like hop on the bike for a few minutes. Like, you really hop on the bike. But this was something that you've learned to use over the years to allow you to manage things.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
it was good for me.
Yeah.
Still is. And so I'm going to
Yes.
throw that into the pile that I opened up last time. And I haven't been riding a whole lot. It's been pretty nasty
Interesting.
down here. It's been snowy and
Oh,
icy.
yes.
And I'm not an inside exercise jump on the ellipse machine. I've tried. I don't do well at that. But yeah, I
Okay.
was riding a lot, I don't know,
Okay.
300 miles a month.
Wow.
Probably.
Okay.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Okay.
Averaging at least 40, 45 miles a week, something like that.
Wow.
Sometimes quite a bit more. But yes, it helped me,
Okay. Okay.
um,
And so what I want to point out about that, and I'm obviously not against exercise. Exercise is important, but I find that a lot of people will do exactly what you did. That they'll lean into exercise because they know it helps, and it does. It certainly helps. And so, but then they just stop there, right? They just keep exercising and exercising and exercising, managing, and they don't get the rest of the pieces they need that allow them to push towards complete healing. And so I just wanted to highlight that of going, hey, you were in that camp.
I agree.
Your fitness level quite easily could be above mine on, I mean, cycling. That's definitely not my sport. Um, but
Running's not
again,
either, so
what was that?
you got me on the running part. I'm not a
There you
runner.
go. There you go. Okay, I run, you cycle. We can maybe do like, we could find a swimmer, or we could do like a triathlon together or something.
There you go. That would work.
It'd be like a tag team kind of situation. Yeah, yeah. But again, I just want to highlight that sometimes it wasn't enough. I just want to highlight that it
No,
wasn't enough.
no,
Yeah.
no. I was using it to run away to it. Sometimes the anxiety would get so
Wow.
bad that I just look at my wife and say, I'm going for a bike ride. And I'd
Okay.
go for 30 miles plus, I just go out, jump on and go. And yes, it made me feel better, but kind of a Band-Aid at times too. I started even, years ago, I'd come home from work and just jump right on the bicycle and go. And just to, kind of wear me out. Basically what I was doing.
Yeah.
Wearing myself
Wow.
out a little bit and getting rid of some of the nerves.
Okay.
So
okay.
It's nice to be
Wow.
able to jump on afterwards for fun and to go.
I like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's like, oh, it feels good. I'm not trying to run away from my
Yeah.
problems. And
I caught
overall,
myself-
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I caught myself looking around and looking at stuff, and
Nice.
I've lived here for 61 years, and I've seen about everything there is to see around here. But I caught
Wow.
myself looking at stuff, seeing the fields, looking
That's
at the
beautiful.
crops, and just a different way, just enjoying myself instead of just staring at the front wheel and pedaling as hard as I could go and trying to stave off the anxiety. I was enjoying myself, and that was very
That's
nice.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Dave. That is so good. Like there's some, I think that's a lot of what happens is there's this healing and this shifting. You start noticing life around you. You start looking up, your perspective changes.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So good. Thank you for sharing that with us. Before we started, you had a relationship with God, you're reading the word, those things, right? You had your faith intact. But how was anxiety and depression affecting that negatively?
Oh, it was just about making it impossible to have any decent prayer time, especially. Um, Years ago, and we had groups in church that, we say, hey, we're going to set aside this half hour, this hour, and we're going to pray. This your turn for this hour, your turn.
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
have a problem with that. I could kneel down by my bed or wherever and pray. But with that anxiety going, stuff running through your head, made it very hard to have some quiet time with the Lord.
Okay.
And very hard to pray.
Okay.
But
Mm.
I found as I kept digging through the Bible more and getting back into Bible studying more, and as everything kind of led down to being calmer and more able to do that.
Mm.
Much
Good.
kind of a performance idiot. So I, and I know God doesn't care, how well we perform, but it's really nice to have a quiet mind to be able to sit and talk and listen a little bit.
Nice.
It was good.
Nice. I want to highlight that. That was good to have a quiet mind.
Yep.
To sit and to listen, which I think is so important.
Yep.
Because our relationship with God is two-way, right? It's prayer where we pray, but then we actually do hear his voice. But when your mind is so cluttered with worry and negative thinking and all the just nonstop, it's hard to hear the voice of God. It is. It makes it very difficult. Beautiful. I'm glad to hear that that's come back online. That's good. That's good. Thank you, Dave. I think my last question for you would be, what would you say to someone else that may be watching this and being like, man, I'm living out of that place. I want freedom. Maybe they've even watched the masterclass, but they're a little bit afraid to step up and change their life. Like, what would you say to them?
Oh, I'd say to them, go for it. And, it's not, you don't know unless you try. So you gotta give it a shot. And I think, is it going to be easy? Nope. It's probably not going to be easy, but you can do it. If anybody can do it, I can do it.
Great. You just lost everybody. Everybody just left. They're like, forget it. If it's not easy, I'm out. No, but it's truth. I don't want to hide that, right? It isn't easy. If it were easy, everybody would be walking in freedom, right? Yeah. And it does take work, but is it worth it?
Yes, absolutely worth it.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. It was worth it for me.
It was worth it for you. Yeah, it's worth it for that little grandbaby that you get to hang out with tonight.
Yes, that's fact.
Yeah, leaving a legacy. Yes. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. And I just want to thank you for the hard work, because again, it's not easy. It is effort. You have to put in the time. You have to be all in, and you were. And thank Frances too, because she walked with this journey with you. She's like, I don't want to be on the video tonight. No problem. That's okay. No problem. But your wife also had a big part in this too. And she went on her journey as well, supported you through the process. And so I want to thank her too. So again, thank you both. I hope she hears me. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Frances, for being a part of this too, and supporting Dave through this. It means the world to me to be able to work with husbands and wives as they go through the process. And so again, thank you, Dave, for putting in the work. I'm proud of you. You did great. I really appreciate Dave's willingness to share how he was able to find freedom, to give you hope that this is possible for you too. I too remember what it was like to struggle with high functioning anxiety and bipolar disorder, which is why I am so passionate about helping you find the answers that you are looking for. Yes, it is possible for you to receive healing and to feel hopeful and happy again. If you are ready to be an overcomer, here's the plan so you can get started without delay. First, schedule your free breakthrough session. Let's have a conversation and see if we are fit to help you overcome anxiety and depression. Second, we're going to identify what is blocking your healing. We're going to show you what's been missing from the other treatments that you have tried. And third, and most importantly, we're going to leverage a whole health approach to allow you to heal completely. We're going to show you how to heal physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So again, schedule your free breakthrough session so you can stop continually managing life under the weight of anxiety and depression, and finally achieve emotional mastery. Now, before I give you the link to book the call, there is one catch. I really only encourage you to book a call with our team if you are ready now to step up and to change your life. Dave spoke openly and honestly about the work that is involved in this process. I can't wave a magic wand over you. This is not an instant cure. But if you are serious and you are ready for overcoming and you're ready to follow through on your commitments, then our team is ready to meet with you and to walk with you through this healing process. And so you can go to stacyrivera.com/call and book your call now. And if you want results like you heard Dave speak about, then it is essential that you follow our instructions that we're going to be sending to you an email after you book your call. Okay, we want to set you up for a successful breakthrough. Again, there's a proven strategy and a step-by-step process to this. We're not going to leave you in the dark. I promise we will send you those instructions. And so again, just be ready for that. Look for those, follow us step by step so that you can successfully overcome anxiety and depression once and for all. I'll see you very soon.